Please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.
We're spinning at the moment. Oh, there we go. We're live.
Hey!
Hello.
Right. So, can't wait to talk to you. SM Spirit Searchers have the legendary, and I'm going to say legendary because your book is going wild.
Yes,
Andy
it does seem to be
Hopkins.
taking off. Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Good to talk to you. Yes,
Yes,
it does seem to have gone viral a little bit around Coalville, doesn't it? My friend of mine literally, a friend of mine tagged me. He was like, "Well, people think I'm moving into your old house from your ghost stories," and I was like, "Oh, do they?" And then all of a sudden, there's about 6 or 7 pages that I'm being tagged in, and I'm like, "Oh, that's my book." Fun times.
Well, I've got to say, I've read it.
Yeah.
I've read it, and I started reading it, and I couldn't put it down.
Excellent stuff. Did it give you chills? Because as I was writing it, I was remembering all this stuff all over again, and activity in my flat where I live was going ripe as well, and that was adding to the words I was writing. It was just, yeah. So I'm hoping people get chills when they read it. You know.
Well, I started reading it, and I was reading it at night, which is probably not the best time to be reading it, to be fair.
Clever.
But I was there with you. I was holding your hand in some of those instances that were in that book, and I felt everything. The way it's written is amazing. Absolutely loved it. Couldn't put it down. And like I say, I'm a mum, and I was there holding your hand in some of it, to be fair.
Where were you a few years back when I was in the house?
I know.
Oh, I'm very glad you enjoyed it. You know, that's when I write. I mean, I've been writing little bits and bobs for all my life, really. Not anything I've ever published, but I don't like reading a book where it's too proper, it's too prim. I like to be right there, right in the nitty gritty. So I wasn't really holding anything back, you know. So that to hear that you kind of were living with me in that book at that moment, holding my hands, you know, that means so much. It really does. So thank you.
Oh, you're making me shiver. You know, I even said to Michelle on one of it, I saw her down the school, and I said to her, "Oh God, Michelle, I sat there last night reading that book, and all of a sudden my light flickered on my hallway, and I was like, oh my God."
The thing is, that's actually happened to a few people I've heard.
Oh, really?
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
But I've got to say, I think the one bit I can keep going back to, and I could keep reading that part over and over again, is the tent.
Oh, don't. Would you believe I actually go camping still every year?
Really?
I take my kids and everything. But yes, it's that you see, people have said to me, because I ask everybody kind of what their favorite parts were. I won't give any spoilers away in case any of the viewers haven't read it all yet. But you know,
Haven't read it all yet.
No, well, there you go. You say I won't spoil it, but you know, people tend to go back towards that or the TV incident. You know,
Yes.
That's when I do paranormal events and stuff, and I sort of tell little bits about my experience. I always bring back to the TV incident. So anybody that's done an investigation with me will know the whole story now. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, we've just had a comment from Vicky Unwin. She's agreeing it's an amazing read.
Oh,
brilliant.
brilliant.
You know, already we're getting comments. So quite a few people have obviously read it, which is fantastic. I mean, I've got a few questions for you because I'm nosy, basically.
Go on then.
Okay, are you ready? Brace yourself. Right, okay.
I'm holding on.
So, why did you write a book? Why write one? Why now?
Well, it's a mixture, really. I've been toying with it for a while, and I started a degree in English literature a few years back, and that kind of inspired me a little bit to actually get what I've written down, well, what's in my head onto paper. Another thing, my publisher, I met him through giving him a reading, and I didn't know anything about his publishing or anything like that. But ever since we've been talking as friends, he's been going, "So when are you going to write me this book? So when are you going to write me this book?" And sort of about maybe 8 or 9, well, probably about, yeah, about middle of last year during lockdown, when I was tearing my hair out, I sort of thought, you know what, let's do it. And he sort of was way behind me, and sort of every week or two was like, "Andy, where are you on the book? Where are you on the book?" And I wanted people to understand what I went through, because the thing with the paranormal, as you guys probably know, is that it's really a taboo subject. People don't talk about it unless you bring it up. How many of us have had what we'd say as an imaginary friend when we were little? You know, who's to say that was an imaginary friend, and who's to say it wasn't some dear old lady who died in your house and was saying hello, you know? So I wanted people to realize that if I say something out loud, if I put down my experiences out loud, then it is me bearing my soul, and it's saying, you know what, if you've experienced anything, you're not crazy, you know. And it's something that I think is important, because if we share an instance, if we share something that happens to us, then it's less taboo, and people can then share stories. I've since publishing, the comments we're getting on posts and about the book, people are saying, "Oh wow, I experienced this. Oh, I had this. Oh, in the back room, this used to happen." And you know what? They wouldn't have said that if it wasn't for my book. So I think that is something that is really powerful, and it's taking something that's scary and that shouldn't be spoken about, and it's making it mainstream. It's making people start to think, well, you know what, I wonder if this was what used to happen to me. And all along Park Road, I've had people in the houses saying, "My God, this happened to me. Why is it Park Road? Why this road?" And you know, although I don't know all the answers, I think that it's all got to be linked somewhere. But I think it's a fascinating thing, and I'm humbled by all the positive and the amount of people that are talking about hauntings and spirit and just sharing these stories. It's fantastic.
It is, and it's nice that people can feel that they can talk about it, because, like you said, it is a taboo subject, and normally, unless it is brought up, people don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's really, really good. And I mean, the house I grew up in wasn't particularly a very nice house to grow up in, and I'd like to go back. And that was local. I'm a local girl. I'm from
Yeah.
Hookscote, so
Oh wow. Yeah.
yeah. So you know, I've and I'm still in Coalville now.
Yeah.
Getting quite a few different comments as well, just to keep you posted. So Sue Child's book arrived yesterday, and looking forward to reading it.
Hey. Oh, I hope you enjoy it, Sue.
Yeah.
Oh, really do.
Vicky Unwin has said, and Oxford Street, and it's probably the
Yes.
land as well.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. It could be the natural energy lines under the ground. It could be somebody had a real direct link to the road, you know. And that's when I've really thought back to Park Road, I have thought that one of the main energy, who we call George, he was linked not only to the road but to the church down the road as well. So it could be the case that now he's not restricted by the physical. This is why he kind of visits all through the road there. Yeah, Vicky said Oxford Street, didn't she? Yes, I've lived on Oxford Street as well. We only lived there for about 3 months, but that wasn't spiritual. That was dodgy landlords. But
all right, okay, yeah. So Chris Smith has just said it's probably down to Coalville being a bit odd. Yeah,
I can't disagree. I can't disagree with that, Chris. Absolutely.
So let's carry on with my questions then, because I've just got quite a few that we can go through.
I've had to test you to do these. Didn't I, Dave?
Sorry, Shell.
I had to test you to get on board. I had to get on test you to get them board. Because she's read all the book, you see.
Yeah,
And I
Without
hope it doesn't. But
the thing is, I didn't want to give too much of the book away for anybody that hasn't read it. So, I
yes.
mean, like, again, just had another comment. Michelle Tobin was back. I'm halfway through the book and keep looking across the road at the houses on the park side as I live on Park Road, loving the book.
I lived on that
Cool.
on the side backed onto the park, so if only I could release what number it was, but I'm not
I
allowed to.
know.
But
Yeah,
yes,
I did notice that somebody was heckling you the other day trying to find out where it was.
yes, yes, they were. I'll say it's a mid terrace. That's all I
Yes.
can say on the side backing up to the park. But
Yes. Right.
I
'cause
want
we
to
So for those people that obviously are either halfway through your book or have just received it or are in the process of getting it, can you give us some examples of some of the activity that you witness, just in case obviously some people haven't either read it fully or some of it, just to give a brief idea of the content of the book?
okay. Crikey! I don't want to give any big parts away. Like it's, one thing which something about me since I've been kind of ghost hunting and for many years now, I've always got a thing about child spirit. Okay, they freak me out a little bit too much, but that's for book 2 really, and some more of my little insights. But surprisingly enough, when I was in Park Road and I was just playing in my room, and my sister had this doll, and she hated this doll basically because she watched Child's Play, and since then she kind of hated it. But it was ready to go up into the loft where things are kind of chucked to forget about. You know how it is with lofts.
Yeah.
I was in my room playing around with my toys, and I heard this giggle and this kind of shh noise, and I thought, oh, I wonder what that is. So I literally walked out onto the landing. There was this little girl crouched over this doll, sort of with it in her arms, and she was shushing it, and I can see her clear as day. It freaks me out a little bit as I'm speaking, but yeah, I can see her as clear as day, and I thought it was one of my sister's friends or something. So I ran to her to try and play. She ran into my mum's room, and she just disappeared. And that didn't scare me as such, but it kind of confused me a little bit because I could see how I could see everybody else, and it was just really confusing. So that was one thing. That was a more pleasant thing. We used to live, me and my older brother, we used to share a room towards the back of the house, and I used to hate nighttime. I was always afraid of the dark because of the things that were happening. But I remember one night, and I was struggling to get to sleep. I'd woken up in the night, and I was struggling to get back to sleep, and I just saw this what looked like a mass, just a black mass. I could sort of see through it, but it was more solid than shadow. And I just sort of looked, and it moved across the wall, and then it moved over to one of my brother's Star Trek posters. And as it moved over to there, just the face of this character came out of the poster, and just sort of looked at me. That's one of those things that just, well, even now,
Yeah.
just thinking about it, it's no
Yeah.
horrible things. Oh, we had shadows. The knocks and the bangs were almost all the time. We could be downstairs and we just hear stomp, stomp, stomp along the landing, and we'd sort of look at each other. And my mum would sort of shake her head, you know. But it was just there wasn't really a quiet time. Even when things were quiet, there were still things happening. Sudden cold spots and these just damp patches that would just appear out of nowhere. It was just, you couldn't keep track of it all. When I came to writing the book, it was just ridiculous how I could have done about 400 pages, but I had a word limit. But no, I think I don't want to give away the really kind of the worst parts, or what I'd sort of say the
Yeah.
significant hauntings. But it was just, it was interesting, and I remember I used to want to be a sailor or an actor when I was younger. But you know, maybe if I lived in a non-haunted house, I would have got there. But I think that everything happened there because I was supposed to do this, and
yeah.
I think back to it now, and I sort of think, well, I don't know, I could have led a really boring life. You know, but I think the things that happened in that house, not only to myself but to my family. It was like when my sister saw these eyes staring at her, and you know, when people would have these really kind of depressive feelings that would just come out of nowhere, and the whole house would sort of shake and would kind of close in on us sometimes. It was just, you'd think that it was kind of like living in a horror movie, you know. People, I know people kind of look at the shows that are on TV and think, nah, that's just nothing, you know, that's imaginary or that's fiction. But if you live in a house that's like that, you think, wow, actually, yeah, I can believe that happened.
Yeah. Did you know when there was like arguments and things like that that you just
Yeah,
touched upon? Did that make it worse, or did it sort of
it did.
feed it, or you know? Because
Well,
I think that's a question that a lot of people sort of ask a lot of the time, isn't
yeah,
it? Really, does it
yeah.
enhance it? You know, the activity.
Well, like attracts like in life. I always say, you know, if you are in a good mood, if you give off good energy, you tend to get better luck, or you tend to feel better, you tend to get better health, all this kind of stuff. But if you're in a house where there's oppressive people, or there's anger, or there's arguments, I mean, for example, me and my brother, you know, he's a good few years older than me, and I must have been a right little brat, you know. There was always arguments, you know, from when I hit him in the eye with a Thundercat sword, and you know, you know, there was just the nitpicking, and
Yeah.
this sort of draws in that energy, you know. I know this might be a slight spoiler for the book, but I know my mum was with a really toxic kind of guy before she married my stepdad, and he was really just really kind of narcissistic, and he tended to just say little things and pick, and he liked to drink. And when he eventually, we had to call the police on him through because of his threats and stuff. But
Yeah.
that's really that was like giving a kid sugar. You know, it really was. It was all of a sudden, boom, everything would happen. And yeah, the same as when we all kind of came together as a family, it sort of relieved the tension a little bit more. When Mount came in, you know, it really kind of made things feel good again.
Yeah.
So yeah, light definitely attracts like. And the thing is, anybody who's ever done an investigation or experienced a haunting, if you feed the spirit fear, if you goad that spirit, that you're going to get the reaction. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
ignore it, like many skeptics would, or many people who want to sort of want to kind of not arouse things, they'll just say, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it," you know. And
Yeah.
it's spirit like attention.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
I've been working as a medium most. Sorry,
So I used to run away from it, and it
did
used to
you?
chase me. Yeah. Then one day I just stopped and I turned around and went, "No, I'm not running no more."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and it calms down. You
You see,
know,
that's the thing though. If you stand up to them, you know, if you match their energy, it tends not to be such a bad experience, and they do tend to just kind of back off a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I think what makes me laugh is when you fear it, time goes really slow. But when you
yeah,
want to go to it and you're looking for something, it goes really fast.
absolutely, it does. You know, I I do talk somewhere in my book about how how it affects time. And you know, for example, I was when I was put out of bed once, and it was just everything was sort of like slow, you know. And yeah, but then yeah, like you said, if you go looking for them, if you go on an investigation, you're like, oh come on, it's 12 o'clock already. So
Yeah, and you go in home and you're like, no, I don't want to go home yet.
we've still got another 3 hours.
Yeah,
Well, Becky White's just put, next time you write a book, can you warn me so I can be out of the flat? You've definitely brought your work home. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend watching from the bedroom. She
So,
doesn't like it when I'm writing because well she doesn't like it when I'm not here, to be fair. When I went off to Amsterdam,
Yeah.
before a year before lockdown. I actually went with Doug, who's one of the guys that I dedicated the book to.
Yeah.
And while I was there, she video called me. I was saying, "Oh crikey, what's this?" And she just had a bottle thrown all the way down the corridor when there's nobody in. Yeah.
Wow.
Today earlier, I'm putting the finishing touches to book 2, and I just all of a sudden looked up to the doorway over here, and there was just a shadow. It just went boom, straight out the way.
Right.
So again, if you kind of give the energy to spirit, like you're on an event, then they kind of take and take and take. But the moment you kind of feel out of control, the more negative and oppressive energies are, right, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I control it a lot more now. A lot more. Yeah.
It's good though.
You know,
Once you open that door, you can't close it, I don't think.
no. Yeah, I mean, I used to have people come into my room and talking to me all night. I had to get up early for work, and I'm like, can you come back another day and talk to me? Yeah, so actually, to turn it off a bit and twist it on when you sort of want is a lot better.
Yeah. I think you have to be disciplined with them, don't you?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I had a child stop with me for about a year.
Yeah.
He used to play with my kids' toys, and I used to see him. And then one day, he came up to me and he went, "I'm okay now. I'm going now. Bye." I felt heartbroken because he was gone.
Oh, yeah, you can get attached to those kind of spirits, though, can't you? You get attached, and when they move on, it's like, oh, I didn't want you to.
I mean, after everything you went through, though, I mean, I suppose I'm surprised in one way that you carried on this path, because I think I don't like to use the word normal. I hate that word, but any person that would go through something as traumatic as what you did, it's just very surprising that you stayed on this path. Me personally, I probably would, because I'm that kind of person as well. Because the intrigue would be, why?
Yeah.
Why are you drawn to me? What do you want? I mean, did you ever actually find out who it was or not at Park Road?
No, I
Would you
didn't
go
yet.
back?
No, absolutely, I'd go back. I was saying this to a friend of mine actually. They're like, "Oh, let's try and get an investigation there." I was like, "Well, yeah, but I can't just stick a post-it in a book and post it through the door." But absolutely, if somebody offered me a night there on my own, I'd take it. I'd go with a full arsenal of my protection stuff, and I'd probably go live all the way so that people know if I'm falling over or being lifted in the air or whatnot. I'd not like to go back. I'd go back alone, but I'd rather take some company.
Yeah, of course, so that they can record it just for the laugh afterwards.
Oh, could you imagine the bloopers? It would be brilliant.
Exactly. So, hang on a minute. We're getting some. Sam Coombs has just put Andy as a glutton for punishment.
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
I think we all are, to be fair. I think because me and Michelle are exactly the same. If we go somewhere that we get a lot of activity, we do like to go back.
Yeah.
We're the same.
Sorry?
Yeah. What's that?
The under houses, the ice houses.
Yeah, I'd love to take Andy there as well.
Yeah. Go for it. I'm up for anywhere, me. One of the best places one of my favourite ghost hunts was Drakelow Tunnels, but they've very recently stopped investigations there.
Oh, yeah.
They're turning it into wine cellars, apparently, but I'd still be quite happy to go if they're turning it into wine cellars, Yeah,
that'd be, it was. I mean, the activity's still going to be there, and we could get drunk at the same time, so that's a bonus,
Bonus, let's do it. A weekender.
Defo.
Hey,
I'm going to say I'm actually teetotal, so you can get drunk and I can drive home, so it's fine. We can sort it.
Done. Absolutely. Done.
We're in.
Let's do it. Let's get in touch with them, shall we?
Yeah, I'm
Oh wow, we're getting loads of comments now. So Vicky Unwin has said, "Do you do readings, Andy?" Well, I know the answer to that question already, but I'll let you answer that one.
I do readings, Vicky. If you message me either on the page or on my personal Facebook, I can send you details of that. That's not a problem at all.
Oh right, so Paul Mills.
Paul Mills. Paul's one of my my paranormal buddies. Hi,
Ah,
Paul. How you doing?
okay,
He's
so he's done a massive.
he used to be one of my students as well. Paul
Oh,
did.
fantastic!
Still is, you know. That's
Yeah.
actually Doug's son, the one that I dedicated the book to as well. So
Oh,
thank you for
fantastic!
watching
So
us, Paul.
he's put it's not normal, it's paranormal, and my dad would have been so proud of you, and he's proud of you, pal. We all are so proud of Andy's book and can't wait to continue our journey, and would love to do an investigation in the house with you, pal. Always my friend. Loads of love and blessings from Cheryl, Dylan, Lexi, Dan, and the Mills family.
Thank you, Paul. That's very kind. Very kind.
Lovely. That's really nice.
Bless
And
him.
Chris Smith's in for it as well. He said it's going to be a paranormal weekend bender. So we've got something going on there already, I think, to be fair.
Well, I think this needs to happen now. You know, there's witnesses, so it has to happen. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm up.
So just out of curiosity, obviously you've done quite a lot of investigation as well as obviously doing your mediumship and in your readings and things. What's your favourite place? What's the place that sort of sticks in your head the most?
Equally, it would be Drakelow Tunnels or Newsham Park Asylum in Liverpool.
Okay.
In Liverpool, yes, that's the first time I went there. I went with Haunted Happenings as one of their mediums, and you walk in there, and it's just like walking into it's a Gothic hospital, and it's just, excuse me, there's no electricity, there's no lighting, it's just.
Wow.
You've got random wheelchairs in the way, and it's like stepping back in time, but the energy, you just sort of walk in and it crushes you. And
Wow.
I was actually waiting down there when we walked in. The base room is huge. It's kind of, you know, it's vast. It used to be where it's like, I think it was the dining hall or something. But
Okay.
we thought that there was a guest walked in early, and we followed this what we thought was a guest down the corridor, and they just walked straight through a wall, and it's like, oh, let's go back to where everybody else is.
Yep.
You know, so but again, Drakelow Tunnels, you just can't. It's a nuclear bomb shelter. You can't see in front of your eye, in front your hand, in front of your face, because there's no lights. You know, there's no electricity. And I remember I remember one time when we were there, and there was only team there. It was we did like a team investigation when we hired it out, and there was about 10 of us in a circle in this one room, and all of a sudden everybody heard music from the 40s, 50s coming out, just echoing through the halls, and we thought, wow, there's no way to explain it, and it's the tiniest little things, you know, that was just I can't explain it. And that's, even as a medium, I'm always after that extra proof, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, so definitely those two. I couldn't really pick between them, but those two are right up there.
Yeah. Do you still do many investigations, or is the writing sort of took
Oh no,
over a
no,
little?
I'll go anywhere, to be quite honest. But obviously not for the last year and a bit.
Yeah.
The writing is something I do kind of. I don't really sleep too much, so I kind of do it as and when I can.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to when all this COVID thing is over and we're all safe enough to get back out there again, because
Yeah.
I've got plenty of ideas where I'm, you know, I just want to get out there again and do it safely. I mean, the last event we've been booked onto an event in Newsham Asylum but it's been cancelled sort of 4 times because of COVID. So, you know, the last one we did, I think, was crikey, a jail down, where was it? Ashwell Prison was the last one we did.
Okay, wow.
And it was pretty good, yeah, but cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd like to go to Alcatraz, thinking of prisons.
Oh yes, absolutely, that'd be good.
Oh,
Well, there you go. That's where we can do our weekender.
yeah.
Alcatraz,
Oh, yeah.
you know? Sounds good.
That'd be awesome. I'm already there. I'm getting on the plane now. I'm going.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Behind you.
Yeah,
I think we should.
yeah.
So
I mean,
we've had another.
Chris is up for it, isn't he? So you know,
Yes,
Chris
yes.
is,
Chris, yeah, Chris is in. I've had another one from Paul Mills. I will always be your student pal, and my house still needs a good sing to. And our family seance. I'm proud and honoured of all the skills I've learned from you because of you. I know that my dad is okay, and I'm a true believer. We have had our jumps and moved. Oh, Chris Smith is looking for his passport already, by the way.
There we go.
Chris is in already. He's
There you go,
joining us.
Chris. There we go. Let's do it. You know.
How young were you when you found you was psychic?
Sorry.
How young was you when you found out you were psychic?
Oh, crikey.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
know, I think the first time that I saw something physically was at Park Road, and like I said, I was sort of 4 or 5 years old. I was really young, but my earliest actual memory was a house before that, and there was a big fish tank. It's why I didn't include it in the book, because it's kind of a sketchy little memory. And I was standing there with my sister, and we had this big fish tank, like a 6-foot fish tank. It looked like an aquarium to me when I was that age. And I just saw this figure just walking straight past, and it looked like it either had a big hat on or a hood up, but I just saw this figure, and I went round to sort of follow to see who it was, and there was just nobody there.
Yeah.
So I really think that it was about then that in my head I knew that there was something there, but as things developed in Park Road, and as I was seeing things more fluently, I couldn't call it psychic. I didn't say mediumistic. I didn't even say spirit. It was almost like, oh, there's monsters around. You know, there's something scary there. So I guess from an early age is the easiest way. I mean, I was about 13 years old when I had my first set of tarot cards. So building up to being a psychic, possibly from around there. But I've been aware of spirits since I can remember.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really young, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is really young.
It makes me feel old.
Cheryl Mills has put, amazing book, Andy. Can't wait to go back on our ghost hunts with you. With all this COVID around, I'm missing it. Laugh out loud.
Oh, good old Cheryl. Yes. We've done plenty of investigations with Cheryl and Paul, and particularly their house is quite a haunted place. So that's something that I do enjoy doing. When it's safe and everything, we do spooky nights where we'll just go around people's houses and
cool.
go to seances, and I bring the spirit boards, and we just go. It's every night is different. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, getting back in there, you know, getting back down with it spiritually.
Yeah, I've said to Michelle the other day that we passed my old house, and the first thing I said to her was, you know, if ever that comes back on the market, can we go and just view it? Because I'd just like to see if it was the same, if I got the same feeling now as I did when I was little.
Yeah.
Because I basically, something happened to me when I was really young, and I choked on a sweet, and I stopped breathing, and a passerby saved my life. And after that, I kept having these really weird dreams where I was on the ceiling and I was looking at myself.
Wow.
And every now and again, especially if I'm poorly, it happens. It doesn't happen as often, but it still does happen, you know, probably twice a year, and I hate it.
Wow.
I hate it. It's really odd. But I'm more susceptible to animals. But when I was younger, an old lady had passed in the house that we lived in when I was young, and you could she wasn't particularly nice. She always lived on her own. She didn't do family things and things like that. And every time you stood at the top of the stairs, it was like somebody would push you down them.
Wow.
You felt that presence there. And I had reoccurring nightmares of fire as well. And this continued until my parents got split up. And when my parents split up, the activity stopped because they weren't a couple anymore. And since we left, everybody that's lived in the house has separated from their partner and lived there alone. Isn't that weird?
Definitely something in the energy there. Absolutely, you know, that's something I'd be very curious to go and see. You know, feeling the energies in there. But so you see, that again, it shows that whatever we do kind of impresses on the energy in the house. You know, if say for example, if you live somewhere for all your life, you know, chances are when you pass away, the new people would see you or would see the recording of you kind of wandering through your house. So, you know, that sounds similar to what you could have experienced there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was frightened to death. I used to run down the stairs as quick as I could when I was little. I hated it. But obviously, since then, I've obviously opened up a little bit more, and I'm more intrigued by it. So, you know, I've worked in a couple of places that that have activity. Because I'm in the pub trade, so you can imagine.
Oh, fantastic!
Pubs are quite susceptible to different activity anyway. And I regularly see people at work, even now.
Is there a pub in Coalville that you work at?
It is. I can speak to you offline.
We'll have a chat.
To sort of go into it a little bit more. But in one of the pubs I worked at previously, they had to get somebody in to come and cleanse it because the activity was quite nasty. And that did calm it down a lot, but we did still see the children.
Sometimes that's all you need to do is give it a bit of a shove out. It doesn't always get rid of them, but it kind of makes them behave a little bit. It's like squirting a cat with water or something.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting rather naughty. We did call him he in the end because he was bloody awkward, so that's why we thought he was a man, to be fair. So we did.
Oh, see, you've got Vicky. Vicky's guessing about the engine. I worked at the engine for about a good month or so back in the day.
It's not the engine.
The stairways going down to the cellar in the engine always freaked me out.
You see, I love a good cellar. There used to be a pub in Thringston called the Fox Inn. I don't know whether you'd remember it because you're Coalville based anyway. But in Thringston, there used to be a pub called the Fox Inn, and that had an underground cellar. And that was, you could hear people upstairs even though the pub was empty. Like, you could hear them talking, and you could hear glasses clinging and everything. And it was weird, but it was a good atmosphere. But you can hear it.
Pubs are brilliant like that though. They have so much energy. I used to work at Jimmy Dean's. Do you remember Jimmy Dean's?
I used to love Jimmy's and Trav's. Trav's were great as well.
Well, back at Jimmy's, I started working at Jimmy's when I was 15. Crikey, I was glass collecting. But when you used to go into the main club part, and when you had to go and turn the lights on, jeez, I hated that job. Oh, awful. Or when you used to go off for a bit of a slack in the cloakroom, it was at the very back of the cloakroom. There was like this. It looked like it was from the old kitchen or old snack bar, but back there was always a bit spooky.
Wow! So we've got loads more comments as well. Now we've been talking.
Paul and Sam are having a bit of a chat, aren't they?
Oh, they are, yeah. So we've got Paul said he loves tarot. Sam's put Cat's Pub in Melton Mowbray's haunted. Fancy a night there.
Let's do it.
Paul said sounds fun. So, and then we've got, it's definitely a haunted place that doubles as a pub. Would love to invite you guys to our house for one of our spook nights. That's Paul. So I'm presuming, is that me and Michelle? I'd love to. I'd go. I'd be in if you.
It's no problem with strangers. Paul hasn't, so yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah. Paul's just said we would love to invite Tracy and Michelle to our house. I'd love to come. That'd be lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd love it. Thank you. That would be amazing.
I'll bring cake because I love to bake, so I'll bring cake. Yeah,
as long as somebody brings rum, I'm happy.
Okay, we'll sort that. That's fine. Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be lovely. Thank you so much. That's great.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So I'll speak to you. I'll message you after this, Andy, and tell you where it is. I don't mind that. That's fine. But yeah,
we can talk at the end. So,
sorry, Michelle.
I said I think when we end it, I think we can still talk at the end, if you know what I mean, when it's got off live. I think. I don't know.
Either way, we'll sort it. We'll sort it. We've gone totally off your book now. Because I've gone into investigation.
Should have. Oh, here we go.
Oh, what's that? Oh, Sarah Granger's put, you should have visited my old house on Albert Road. We definitely had a spirit there.
Albert Road, oh, the end of Park Road, is it? Yes.
It is, yeah.
I've done
that house, Sarah. Sarah's one of my friends. I do remember.
All right. I've done 4 house clearances on Albert Road
Have you really?
the years I've been working. Yeah, I actually used to live on one of the newer houses right at the top of Albert Road when I first had my daughter. That was an interesting house. But it wasn't really haunted, but yeah, there's quite a few active areas around that road. To be fair, around Park Road, Albert Road. I just think there's quite a lot of lines going underneath or something to cause that.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it could be linked to the mine? Because I mean, there was a mine near there as well, wasn't there?
It's natural. It could be the faults created by the mines. It could be a case of the disturbances under the ground. It could be anything like that. It could just be a case of something more sinister or more horrific even could have happened around that area. And it's like casting a light in the middle of the dark. Sooner or later you'll get moths and flies, and before you know it, one little spark of light has turned into almost like a chaos of other things coming towards it. And it's the same as if you put your energy out there, or on a seance or on a Ouija board or anything like that. You put your energy out there, you call out, you're creating that light, and before you know it, that's when spirit come along.
Yeah, I think the one for me is when. I mean,
you've got to put your tensions out there. Sorry.
Go on, no, say that, Michelle. Go for it.
I said that's why you've got to put your tensions out there, isn't it? So, like when you're on a Ouija board, deposit it in, then you'll get positive back.
Yeah,
if you have something negative, you're going to have negative coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around a friend's house and they wanted help, and I got my dad and was there, and I was talking to the spirit, and I said to him, if you mean harm to this family, then you need to move. And they did. They left and they didn't bother with me again.
Yeah.
But I just put my attention there, and that was it. And I didn't even speak it out loud. I spoke it in my head.
Yeah.
It's, powerful. Just being powerful in yourself and saying what you want.
Yeah. Well, we as humans, we as the living, we have kind of jurisdiction over the earth plane. You know what I mean? So if there is something nasty on a spiritual level, we kind of can shove that aside. Sometimes they fight back. Sometimes they have more strength. Sometimes they gather other spirit and they can really kind of cause a bit of chaos. But we still have domination over this plane, so they can't.
I mean, my cousin, she had attachment on off when we went out one night, and I said, you know, if you follow us home, I will banish you. And you literally heard him walk away from her.
Mhm.
It was really weird. She was feeling sick and everything. She was feeling really poorly. And Abba says, you know, if you follow us home, then I'll banish her. And that did the trick. He just walked off and left her, and she felt fine after that.
Yeah, yeah. They can be quite
So,
quite draining on, you know, when you get that kind of the hitchhiking spirits attached to you. They can drain you, and they can kind of cause disruptions in your life. But a lot of the time, that is because when they don't make themselves known, and it's just their energy you feel, rather than them kind of
yeah,
jumping out at you or anything like that. It's the energy that they impress on you that can be um, worse than the actual haunting itself.
yeah,
So Sarah's put about the spirit in Albert Road. She put, we called her Margaret. So she was very friendly, but she was a bugger for turning the radio and TV on and off.
Oh, it's always fun when they play around with that.
Yeah, we had in one of the houses that we lived in, we just had one that was playful, and it was
Yeah.
knocking milk bottles over and turning the light on and off. So we used to just line the milk bottles up on purpose to see how many fell over in the morning. And we used to take guesses on how many would be over in the morning. So, but again, that you know, it never bothered us because
Yeah.
it wasn't every day. It was just every now and again, and you knew that it wasn't negative.
Yeah.
You know, it was okay. It was fine.
Yeah.
So she's also put that I swear I saw her stood at the bottom of my bed once. She looked like an old-fashioned maid with a cap and ringlets in her hair.
Hmm. I do like a good apparition, you know, a full-bodied
Yeah,
apparition. They're rare, but you know, seeing something that clearly is fantastic.
it is
yeah.
definitely. So hang on, where's the Paula's put, I really want to do a book, and our title at the moment is Spiritual Goings On in Delhi. What do you think, Andy?
Oh, that's his road, I think. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, go for it, Paul. You know, we'll have a natter about it. I'm sure we can sort something out.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh,
So,
he's put about having a portal in his house. Yeah, we've very interesting thing about the house that he's referring to is
okay.
just in the middle, and we're doing a baseline test and everything like. There's nothing out of the ordinary, and when you just start a séance, there's the K2 meters click right up to red on this
Wow.
one particular part, which is pretty interesting. That's what he's
Fantastic.
referring to with the old with the portal there.
Okay. Wow. Oh, I want to go.
See, there you go. There's a
Yeah.
night out.
Thermal camera, everything. It's yeah,
Brilliant.
there already.
Sounds good. There you
It,
go.
I,
Just need to
it just
bugger off COVID now. Yeah, time to
yeah,
bugger off now.
I
Yeah,
know. Well,
definitely.
I mean, I've been furloughed, so I'm sat twiddling
Yeah,
my thumbs. I've been homeschooling, which has sent me absolutely
yeah.
mental.
Oh,
I think to be
isn't it
honest,
good
I'm
now
not
they're back?
a professor. Well, I feel
Oh,
like now I'm a professor because I know, you know, all this arithmetic that I never knew even existed.
yeah. Didn't you find it a bit odd though that the way that they teach is completely different to back in the day? You know, if I was
Yes.
doing English
Yeah.
and thinking I was having to Google everything. You
Yeah.
know, it was just out of
Yeah.
my league.
It was definitely it was a nightmare. Right, so we've got about five minutes or so left. So
Hmm.
I think we ought to go back to your fabulous book that
Okay.
originally this started off as. I just
We've
love
just
them words.
digressed a little bit, haven't we, as well? You know.
We did, we've sort of, yeah, we've got a bit off, but that's okay because now we've got investigations planned now, so I can't be more happier, to be fair.
I'm
So I'm
excited for the weekender in Alcatraz myself. You know, I'm excited about that.
yeah, I mean we've got the drunken bender, but I'm drawn to this house now. I want to go. I want
Yeah.
to as well. You know,
We need
it's
to
fab.
raise some money for it then, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll sell my body. It'll be fun. We'll do it. It'll be all right.
I'll just push my readings a little bit. I think I get more money than my body.
Well, they pay me to go home, so it's okay. I've got it sorted. It's fine.
I'm going to start back my reading. I did a reading for Tracy the other day.
Did
For
you?
Trace.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
It's
It was
been
good.
about.
It's for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It's probably been about a year since I've had a reading. I'm friends with Chris Conway from Most Haunted, and he gave me a reading about a year ago. It's the last one I've had.
So, couple more. Well, we'll go back on the things that you offer as well. I know that you're sort of doing more of the spiritualist side of things now. So obviously, if people want, a reading or anything like that, I'm sure that's fine for them to contact you. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Contact me through my page, and I'm always answering when I can.
If you've got a page or anything, feel free to share it onto the group. That's absolutely fine.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that, Michelle, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah,
So that would be brilliant.
Brilliant.
You are sorry?
I said to share it onto the post it onto the group, and then everyone can find it then. So yeah, that would be brilliant.
That's absolutely fine. Well, we've just had another question from Vicky. Will you do other books? Well, I know the answer to this question already, but I can't wait.
yes, Vicky, I am. I'm currently going through my second book at the minute, and it's not just people asking on here. I've got Nick, my publisher, going, "Come on, when are you going to get this book done?" So definitely it will be out as soon as possible. But I don't want to make a rubbish sequel. It's the second book is based on kind of the adventures that after leaving Park Road, and although I went on quite a few, it's picking the best, and it's sort of I want people to be as able to relate to it as they have done with the Haunted on Park Road, like knowing the places. I mean, we spoke earlier about Grace Dew, places like that, and I'm probably one of a lot of coalvillians and people from Frankston that have sort of wandered through Grace Dew at the evening. I regrettably didn't take a torch, but so yes, there will be a second book. I won't tell you too much about that now, but there will be a second book, so that's not a problem.
I'm sure with the style of writing, though, especially in obviously the book that we're discussing today, I'm sure that it's going to be as good as the first one, because you do have a very unique way of writing it. And like I said, I think my favourite part is that you're actually in the book with you.
Yeah.
And I like that sort of book. One of my favourite authors is Val McDermott.
Right.
Because I'm actually studying psychology.
A
degree in it, and so I like to be in that story with the person that's writing it. I like to feel everything that's going on in that book, and I did. As I say, Michelle said to me, "How are you getting on with that book?" And it's like, I've read it. I sort of my husband, bless him. Well, my husband, bless him, he was like, are you going to sleep, babe? And I'm like, no, I'm reading. So I've got the lamp on, and bless him, he gets up at like 4 a.m. to go to work, and he's like, this is about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've got like about 6 pages more to read, and I've finished, and I can't put it down. It was like I'm literally going like this, falling asleep in the pages, but I had to read what happened. I couldn't put it down, and honestly, it was like 2:30 in the morning, 2:45, and I thought, I don't care, because I need to know.
Get it done.
I'm a bit slower than Tracy because I'm dyslexic.
Yeah.
I find it hard to read because the papers are so clear and the writing is nice and big. I'm able to read it, but it's a lot slower. I am enjoying it.
Savouring it.
Because the music drives me out.
Yeah.
But I will get to the end of it, definitely.
That's okay.
So, yeah,
You can let me know how you find it, you know. But no, savor it like a fine wine, as they say.
yeah, I mean, you know, for anyone who is dyslexic, if they're watching, get it because it is clear, it is quite easy to read. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's all
thank
I can say.
100%.
You're
I mean,
welcome.
I think I've told about 5 or 6 people to buy it already. So I'm like, you've got to buy it. Oh my God, you've got to buy this book. You can't borrow it
We
because I've
share
lent mine out.
Yeah,
everywhere.
you can bring your book along to Paul's house or to San Francisco when we're in Alcatraz. I'll sign it for you.
Oh, fantastic. But I mean, did you think it was going to go this big?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
I thought my mum would buy it. You know, I thought my girlfriend would buy it. That's about it, you know. But no, it just it's phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for a better launch, really. And it's just I don't really think I've had any kind of negative feedback, really. So I'm fully encouraged to carry on, you know. And like
Yeah,
I said, I've got 37 years of experience. I think I've got plenty of stories to tell yet.
fantastic.
Brilliant.
I
We'll
tell
look
you what,
forward to it.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the next one. It's like, come on, I want it now.
Soon enough, soon enough.
It's this lockdown. It's like,
Yeah,
honestly, I've read so much, but as I say, there's certain books that I could pick up and read again, and yours is one of them. And I'm not just saying that because you're on here either. You know, I will be honest, but
please.
I, you know, well, I'd rather be honest, you know, about things. And if I didn't enjoy it, I'd say the reasons why I didn't enjoy it, but I did.
Mhm.
But as soon as
You can
Michelle's
tell me in
finished
private
with it,
message.
no, I wouldn't need to. I love it. As soon as Michelle's finished with it, I know Hannah wants to borrow it. So when Hannah's finished
Yeah,
with it, I'll have it back and then I'll read it again. So I'm quite happy to go through it again,
Hmm.
because it's one of those books that I think you could reread because you
Yeah,
might have interpreted one part of it in a certain way, and then when you read it again,
yeah,
it might, you know,
yeah.
sort of be slightly different. So I think it gives you the option as well. You know,
That's the
it's
thing.
not one of these.
If you read it at night, you know, because like I was saying earlier with spirit, if you put yourself in a particular mood, or if you're
Yeah,
reading something and it clicks in your mind, you know, that can then just interpret things different, you know. It's like you were saying. But yeah, I think how I imagine people reading it was sort of tucked up in bed reading it at night. You know, that's kind of how I envisioned it would
yeah,
work.
yeah. Well, I
yeah.
definitely did it, and I about had to change my pants about twice. So it is, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes, I win.
So Paul's just said not many sequels surpass their original, and you have permission to use us in your book whenever you can. Love it. That's lovely.
Why not, eh? Why not? Oh,
And Vicky has said exactly the same as me again. Totally agree. After my mum's done borrowing it, I'll read it again. You see.
yay! Oh,
So there you
fantastic.
go.
People will have to let me know how good it is on the second way around. Christ, by the time I'd sent it back to the editors, I was just everything was blurring into one. I was like, I can't read it again. So
I
I'll be
think
happy to hear what people think of it the second time as well.
yeah,
And
definitely. I
please
mean,
feel
if
welcome to come back and have a chat with us.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
We'd love to have you back again and come and talk to us and tell us what you're doing. And yeah, it'd be amazing.
Oh, that
Keep in
would be
contact with
brilliant. Of course,
Yeah,
definitely. I'd love
definitely.
to.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Well, I'm pleased for everybody that's commented as well. Thank you so much for commenting, and you know, I'm sure we can grab Andy again to come and join us at some point as well. And when all these COVID
Yeah.
regulations are lifted, we'll definitely go on an investigation as well because that'd be
Yeah,
amazing. I'd love that.
that sounds brilliant. Yeah, definitely.
That would be
I can't
Yeah.
wait.
fantastic. Neither can I. I'm dead excited now. I mean, Drake
Yeah.
Tunnel's getting absolutely slaughtered. Alcatraz, and then we're having a night at a haunted house. What more can I ask for? You know, it's
Boom.
great.
That'll be good.
Absolutely fantastic. Right, so shall we? We'll end the broadcast now. Then, thank you so much, Andy, for joining us tonight. It's been fantastic. Loved it, and I can't wait for your next book.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
there waiting to buy
it. Well, thank you. Thank you, definitely. You know, and thanks everybody who's come on and commented and watched. You know, thank you to everyone for the support, and I'm truly humbled by everybody's positivity. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks then, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.